Billionaire businessman and philanthropist Rick Caruso joins us now. Rick, good to have you as always. You know, with these rising cases and hospitalization numbers in the LA area, how do you think about the reopening and whether it's in jeopardy?
Well, we have reopened. We've been open for about a week on all of our properties, including our resort up in Montecito. We put together, and I think we've talked about it before, some very strict protocols on safety in terms of cleaning of all of our properties. We've got signage around reminding people that masks are required on our shopping centers and at our hotels. And we also have ambassadors that remind people to stay 6 feet apart. So far it's working. I mean, is it a concern? Of course it's a concern because our number one priority is keeping our guests safe. But I was at the Grove yesterday. It was busy. Stores were queuing up, only allowing a certain amount of people inside the stores. People were waiting. Some people were waiting in line to go on to Nike for an hour, but it was working. And even in our outdoor parks, we have circles that indicate where people can sit. And I tell you, I think that there is an attitude that everybody wants to make this work. At least that's what I've seen. So they're regulating themselves. We're helping them and reminding them. But so far it's working. And I hope, you know, the state and the city, we don't have a big spike. We really can't afford to.
Yeah, I mean, you gave a little color there, but I was just going to ask what traffic looks like overall and relative to your expectations for the shops.
So traffic is down about 40%. But what we're seeing is the conversion rate inside of our stores is very high. So people are coming to our properties literally with the intent to shop. And so we have some retailers that are actually have sales that are pre-closure sales in terms of volume. So we're very encouraged by that. During the closure, we expanded outdoor patios. Restaurants did not lose capacity because we have more tables outside. We have restaurants that have bounced back to pre-closure volumes. Now, one of the great advantages that we have is all of our properties are outdoor properties. And as you know, sunlight is the best disinfectant for this virus. And so people, I think, feel very comfortable on our properties, and that's why they're filling back up and people are coming back to shop and dine with us. So sales are pretty good. We're very happy about it. What we're going to have to do is wait over the next 30 days and see how it continues and how it builds up and how retailers sort of manage occupancy inside their stores. That's going to be the limiting factor is, frankly, how many people can be inside a store to shop at one time.
Yeah, Rick, it's David. As you point out, of course, outdoors is such a key part of this in terms of the ability to transmit, but indoors more problematic. What's your sense of your retail tenants' ability to withstand, you know, what's coming at them if it can't be sort of a level of traffic that they've experienced in the past? You know, how many didn't pay rent in April or potentially May, and sort of how are you gauging their financial health?
Well, fortunately, you know, our properties, unlike, you know, regional malls or indoor malls, our largest property is about 700,000 square feet versus a regional mall that may be over 2 million square feet. And we entered this very strong. We entered this 100% occupied. We're not going to be 100% occupied as retailers experience bankruptcy. We haven't had a lot of that yet. I mean, we have J. Crew that we're dealing with, but it's not across the board. So I think we're going to weather it well. I think the overall retail community, there's going to be a lot of these retailers that won't be able to survive it. Now, do I think a Nike survives it? Nordstrom survives it? Barnes & Noble survives it? You know, Sephora survives it? Lululemon? You know, those are really our staple tenants. The smaller tenants in our properties, we have just either abated or deferred rent because we want to support the smaller tenants, get them back in business, and start growing some revenue so they can become healthy again. So I look at it as a bit of an ecosystem where we all have to work together in a partnership. And, you know, we have to do our part as a landlord. The larger tenants have to pay rent. Our prediction on rent, we're growing to about 70% of our receivables. So that's good. You know, we were down to about 30% during the closure. So it's coming back. And as stores open up, we are not getting the pushback to go back to full rent. So they're seeing the volume come in. They're paying the rent. but it will be across the country a mixed bag, especially for a lot of the bigger boxes that went into this crisis, pretty much struggling. I think it's going to sort of hasten their death, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, we've been watching that, and of course.